All right, all right. Well, my finger slipped on that one, but it's your boy DJ Gamer, that retro modern gamer. We are on the iAmDjGamer Gamer podcast. I got with me my buddy Grover from Whimindie. Everybody, I met this gentleman at an event, at the GamerCon event, to be exact. Got to test out a game. Got to test out plenty of games that day, but this game standed out to me because it brought me just back to an old school feel game that I don't know if you, all my gamers out there, if y'all know this game, Super Smash TV, that it was just an awesome game to play, man. Bunch of mayhem shooting, but so much fun. I had that same exact feeling playing this game. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself, man?
Okay, yeah, like you mentioned, I'm Grover from Whimindie. I'm the producer of Spellbearers. I'm really glad you liked it. Yeah, we were
Oh
really
yeah.
going for that retro aesthetic, right, from Smash TV and Legend of Zelda. So I'm really glad you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely. Like me, man. I just like when I saw it, I said right away the graphics stood out to me. And just like it looks very good, very good. Just the mechanics as far as the controls and everything, and just battling like waves and waves of just enemies was just like one of those exciting things for me. So even playing the demo, I played that demo over and over and over and over. So I'm excited just to see going forward what else do you guys have
Wait,
planned.
wait till you
So
see the later levels. Yeah, it's gonna be
yes, that's
crazy.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what I'm trying to hint to. It's just
Hmm.
like I'm excited just to see more of it, and everybody else. I'm pretty sure everybody else who enjoys these type of games will enjoy this. So just take me back to where this started. This project started
Sure.
for you. So just
Sure. So me and my buddy Jaron, Jaron, he's the game director of Spellbearers, and he's the one who came up with the whole idea. We go back to about 2012, 2013. We both just graduated from university. He just got his master's, or no, I think he was working towards his master's at the time. Anyway, we were working on a mobile game called Antics, and it was the same kind of arcade concept where there's a big stack of candy in the middle of the screen and all these bugs are coming towards it, and you have to tap the screen with your finger, right, to
okay.
stop the bugs from getting there, right. And I got a good friend of my cousin. His name is Christopher Nuno. He did the music and it was just phenomenal, right.
Okay.
And we released it. We didn't get many installs, but when we demonstrated it at conventions, the parents loved it because their kids were just hooked on the iPad and constantly tapping the screen. So me and Jared, we kind of split and we did our own thing. I made two other games. And he went to work in the software industry, and then a couple years later, he about 2017, 2018, he reached out to me and my business partner Paul, and he's like, I got a new game and I want you guys to do it. And he's like, I'll work with you under what condition? Do you still work with Christopher Nuno? And I was like, yeah, he still works with us. He still works with us. So we went up to Las Vegas and we met him, and he pitched his game to us, Spellbearers. Right back,
Huh.
he didn't have a name for it at the time. I actually no, he had a Spellbound. The original name of the game was Spellbound,
Spellbound. Okay.
and but if you look up Spellbound in a simple Google search, you find like 50 different games, right? So for a long time, we are like, okay, we're gonna call it Project Spellbound until we find a name that kind of sticks, right?
Okay.
Um, but we love the game. We first he showed us like really early level one with like his character designs and very basic tile assets, and we just fell in love with it, right? And we're like, this is it. This is the game that's gonna kind of bring our studio to the forefront, right? So
Nice.
I brought on some of the team that did our other game, Celatria, and some of the team that did Antics, and we all kind of pulled together to really make Spellbearers kind of in a more demonstratable state, I guess, if you will.
Hmm.
And we ended up doing a Kickstarter I think right before. No, was it 2020? The years just kind of merged together. It was about a
All
year
right.
ago.
Especially these years.
Um, yeah, geez, it's blanking on me if it's the end of 2019 or 2020. Anyway, this is our second Kickstarter for the studio. The first one, we made it about halfway to our goal, but this was our first Kickstarter that made it to the goal because, players like yourself, you guys saw the appeal, like Smash TV on modern consoles. Yes, right. So they were just as excited as you were, and we made our goal. And ever since then, we've been trying to, showing our games off at conventions and really getting it to a point where we can release it. And Microsoft took notice too, and now we're going to be releasing it on Steam and Xbox. So I'm really excited. It's going to be our first console game.
Nice, man. Congrats on that, man. Congrats on just give us an insight on what does it take, because us as gamers, we only know like, okay, this game's gonna come out this day, or why is it delayed, or why was going this. That's what we know. That's what we know, and we're so quick to judge companies and studios, and like I always said, look, there's a flip side to this. Yes, we're on the whole gaming side waiting to play this game and everything, but you also got to look at the other side. So just give us a glimpse of what is it that you guys go through.
So I take a lot of my inspiration, the way I talk about game development, I take it from two sources, right? The first source is there's been a lot of Kickstarter games that they reach their goal, right? And then the guy disappears with the money, or the game doesn't get finished, and then everybody's upset and everybody's mad, right? And it's like, why you did this? We gave you this money, we're entitled to a refund, et cetera, but then there's no money left, right?
Yeah.
So first thing is, for our studio, we don't rely solely on Kickstarter funds, right? So Kickstarter literally kickstarted our project, but that was just getting there. It's me and a lot of the other co-founders. We also put our own funds into it, and yes, it does get really pricey. It's been several tens of thousands of dollars that we put in our own money into making Spellbears work as well, on top of the Kickstarter money. So to ensure that, hey, this game's going to get done, right? So there's the money investment there. The time investment, a lot of us, we wish we could do this full time, right? But even with getting things like that, all of us have day jobs that we do, day software jobs, day engineering jobs, and we work on Spellbearers a lot during the evenings and on weekends. So there's a lot of time investment with that as well. And there's the thing of broken promises. One thing I refer to on is No Man's Sky, right? The infamous Sean Murray. I genuinely believe that, for those that aren't in the know, he promised a lot of stuff for No Man's Sky before it released, and then when it came out, it didn't have any of the features he talked about on several different interviews and shows, and people at the beginning critically panned the game, right? Because it's like, you lied to us, you did this, and then they had memes of him, he's a liar. And I think they do the same thing with Todd Howard, right? About Fallout 76.
Yes.
Yeah. So they, but I genuinely don't believe that these game developers were lying about anything that they talked about. They were very passionate about what they wanted to see in the game. But for, sometimes you have to get the game out before the holidays, right? Otherwise you miss those critical financial windows, right? It's the very unglamorous parts of game development, right? You got to get it out in time. You have to get it out before the fiscal quarter or fiscal year is over, et cetera, right? So there's a lot of behind the scenes things that gamers just kind of get to scratch the surface on. And luckily for Whimindie, we're self-funded, right? I mentioned we put our own money into this, so therefore we have our own timetables, right? I'm very much a believer in it'll get done when it gets done. Unfortunately, when we released our Kickstarter, we too underestimated when our game was going to be done, right? It was supposed to be done earlier this year. And then we definitely had to postpone it. Like we saw this, like, it's not going to be done by November, right? There's still all this stuff that needs to be, done. And what I make sure I do is during the development logs that I release every month, I try to outline like, hey, this is why we didn't make our goal, and here's a bullet points of what's missing, what we need to do, and here's something to hold you over, right? So I want to make sure, I don't want to piss off our fans, right? That's not I'm very passionate about it. I'm a gamer too. I get disappointed when my favorite games are delayed. So I know what it is like to be on the other side of it. And it kind of gives me that perspective, like, okay, what can I say to kind of make this up to you for the time being, right?
Yeah.
I it's kind of weird. I don't want to say gamers are entitled because that's not productive in my opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
um, I still feel like as a game developer, I'm providing you a promise, and I have
Yes.
to fulfill a promise, right? I feel like it's going the wrong way by saying you're entitled to things, but it's like if I promise you something, I have to fulfill my promise to release the game and to put out what I promised, right? So,
Yes.
and when I break those promises, there's hell to pay. So that's kind of where I'm at.
No, yeah, because look, I like for example, Overwatch 2 was
Yeah,
announced what 3 years ago,
yeah,
something like that,
yeah.
right? People
Hmm.
are people are so like, oh, you know what, this is just made, lying and everything. But sometimes like I rather them take their time to put out something good, especially if we're passionate about Overwatch or whatever game it is, because
Yeah,
you don't want what happened. And a prime example was Cyberpunk. To
yeah.
me, they should have.
Oh yeah.
I would have been happy taking another delay, but bringing out the product you promised to put out instead of what we got.
Cyberpunk was a PR nightmare because I remember there was a tweet, like an infamous tweet, where the day before it was like some person posted on Twitter. It's like, is this gonna be a delayed again? Is it gonna be delayed? No, no, it's not. We're on it. And then the next day you see that all familiar yellow post, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we regret to inform you it's going to be delayed. I feel like it a lot of people were kept out of the loop. And I personally don't think it should have been released for uh, the PS4 and Xbox
No,
One, right?
exactly. Yep.
It should have just been targeted for next gen. And ironically, Google Stadia is the game is the console that plays it the best, right? Because it has
Yeah.
all these high technology things that are it renders the game elsewhere, right? So it makes it easier. But not a lot of people don't really like Google Stadia. I feel like it's ahead of its time, but I think that might be for another discussion. So
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got some things about the stadium, but nonetheless, it's just like I always said. Sometimes gamers we have to be patient.
yes,
It's because sometimes we don't realize what goes again. Like you broke it down,
mhm,
deadlines, or you guys definitely got your day jobs, and it's just
mhm,
things happen, life happens, and you have to take a pause on whatever it is that you're working on, especially if it's
yeah,
like again if it's a group of team. Not all the time you're gonna be on the same page
yeah,
because of different things that are happening. So it's just like gamers, just be patient. There's plenty of games for you to play. This will be out when it needs to be out,
yeah.
and so I'm always about what I'm just gonna wait. I'm not gonna sit there and be pout or I need my game now. Just like no, I'd rather wait because if history has done told us anything is that you probably told yourself when you played Cyberpunk or you played I think it was The Last of Us 2 that first week, my God,
Yeah.
it was bugs, it was all kinds of stuff going on. Wouldn't you rather wait for it to be nice till you could play it at ease and no complaints? Yes, I'd rather had waited. So
Final Fantasy 14 is the biggest one, right?
oh
That game
God.
launched, it was a disaster. And it took 3 years for them to remake it. But now they're the famous turnaround story, right? So
Yes, yes.
yeah,
So, okay, but no, that's good, man. That's good. You giving us an insight as far as what it takes, and then the stuff that you guys go through. Because sometimes we don't know. We don't know. We just see a date. Okay, okay. We're going. That's all we see. That's all we
right.
see. But so I'm very insightful, very helpful on that info. So, how did the idea of this game came to be? Was it just a vision that you had, or what
Mhm.
was the
So,
start of it?
yeah, I take no credit for coming up with the idea of Spellbearers, not one bit. It was all the concept and mastermind of my friend and the lead developer, Jaron Willis, right? So
Okay.
he brought Whimindie on to help develop the project because I do a lot of project management. I herd the whole team together. I bring the artists, I bring
Okay.
the sound engineers, I bring everybody, and then I'll play test it to hell. But I want to, he came up with the vision. He wanted to do a Zelda game, but it's just a Zelda game with a team of 10 people is way too ambitious, right?
Yeah.
It's too much. There's been other Zelda games that have tried to have come out on like Kickstarter, and they didn't make their goal, or they promised a lot of stuff that didn't deliver. So he wanted to keep the Zelda mechanics, but he was like, okay, let's do something a little bit more simple. And he looked at Smash TV, which he also, huge fan, right?
Yes.
So he came up with the idea, and then he pitched it to us, and we loved it from the get go. We're like, okay, I'll throw. I threw the best developers that I had from our other game, Celatria, and we kind of just combined his vision and his ideas with our team. Oh, 1 second,
All
sorry.
good. All good. Do your thing. Do your thing. There you go. Got a little small little break while we while my man answers that phone. It's all good. This is what we do when it's live. We just don't know what could happen, but there we go. There
I
we
just
go.
left it. Now the phone's not going to ring. I disconnected it.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah,
good.
sorry about that.
Nah, no worries. No worries.
Yeah.
So
But going back to what I was talking about, it was his vision, and we wanted to pretty much follow his vision as much as we could, and bring the team that I had developed with our past games, and kind of bring the best of two worlds. So, um, yeah,
nice, nice, nice. Okay, so that's where all the ideas and everything. So I like how you're the one that connects everything, though.
yeah,
You're connecting everything, all the pieces coming together. Nice, nice.
yeah. There's
So
been a few times when my team has referred to me as the Great Facilitator. So,
there we go.
yeah,
See, they
yeah,
they recognize it too. They
yeah,
recognize it too.
yeah,
Nice, nice,
yeah.
nice, nice. So give me a little insight on the game.
Sure.
Because I played the demo. I'm replaying the demo actually. Like I said, I'm replaying it. And yeah, right out the gate, it gave me that first Zelda vibe. When you switch like from one stage to another, like just it gave me that vibe. And some of the like the scenery around too gave me that Zelda vibe to it too. So what can we expect? How many levels? Any cheat codes? Any just just
So I have a thing about cheat codes. I think there's beeping in the background. Can you hear that by chance? No.
no, you're good.
Okay. Okay.
You're good.
All right. Perfect. So the thing about cheat codes is if we implement cheat codes into our games, the big problem with that is that cheat codes. If we put cheat codes in the game, it's going to mess with achievements, right? And then
Okay.
you get into the whole thing of did they earn the achievement, right? If
Right.
the so I'm a little apprehensive about putting in cheat codes when it comes to games with achievements. Um, I'm also a little apprehensive about putting them in on easy mode. We want to do an easy mode for Spellbearers, but I'm concerned that people will be like, you didn't really earn that achievement if you played it on easy mode. But if people want to play through it just to say they've played through it and for the story, or just to get it out of their
Uh-huh.
stack of shame, if you will. But I feel like in order to earn achievements, you have to play it on normal mode and without using cheats. Uh, so,
There
but
you
then again,
go.
you get into the thing about like modding and things like that, and people develop mods. So I don't know, but yeah, that's just me. It's not going to be something that's going to be built into the game. But if people want to mod it, and go for it.
And like they want to mod it, they're playing your game.
Yeah, that's how I see. Well,
Right. I mean, not your actual game, but they're making mods for your game. I mean, I don't know how, especially how you guys see that. I don't know how do you see that? Like if you do see somebody modding your game, how does that take an effect for somebody who's behind the scene, creating this game, just being a part of the team? How do you
yeah.
guys take stuff like that?
Um. Ooh, okay. So I see modding kind of the same way I see piracy, right? Um, oh, maybe it's kind of on the same thing. But like piracy, right? I want people to support and buy our game because it helps fund us as developers, right?
Of course.
If people legit buy our games, they can see more of it, right? If they want to see a sequel, please buy the game. But when it comes to piracy, it's like, okay, these people are clearly fans of the game, and if I'm glad they're playing, right? That's from that. So I don't want to say pirate my game,
No,
and I'm not
no, by no
advocating
means.
that, because if everybody pirates it, we'll go out of business, right? Um, but I see mods the same way. It's like I'm very flattered that you cared enough about our game to either break it or find the inner workings to make mods.
To make mods.
That's how I feel about piracy as well. You care, people care.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's the neutral way to kind of go
No,
with what
yeah,
I was going to say
definitely,
about it.
definitely, and just letting everybody know, please, like again, this is how things are created for bigger future games. Support your indie, support your Kickstarter, support people that are putting their time and effort. Buy the game, don't pirate, don't bootleg it, just support it and buy the game. Buy the game.
Or if you do pirate it and you like it, then
Buy
buy it.
it.
Then
Yes,
then buy it.
yes,
Yeah,
yes. If you that's what you got the demo for you to get a feel for the game to know what
yeah.
you're gonna expect. So honestly, like I said,
Mhm.
I'm excited beyond just to see the rest of this game. So
Yeah.
where are we at right now with that? Where are we at?
So if I had to put a number on where Spellbears is, we're at about the 75-80% mark.
Okay.
So there's going to be 4 levels to the game, and we completed 3 full levels, and we're working on the last one.
Okay.
And if people be like 4 levels, it only has 4 levels. That's it. If you played through the first level, it's
Yes.
pretty tough.
Yes. Yes.
So,
So
and the second, third, and fourth levels are even harder, right? And it is arcade style. So if you get game over, you do have to start from the very beginning. So it is really like, okay, you're going to get your money's worth. You're going to have to play through it multiple times to learn. It is pretty much the Dark Souls of Smash TV. It
there we
is it
go.
it is it is really really difficult. I don't remember how far you got through the. Do you
We I
remember?
we got through like we're fighting that first boss. I know that we're
Oh yeah,
fighting. Yeah, we
yeah.
did fight that first boss, and again, just the weapons, the power ups.
Oh yeah.
Nice, yes. So, talk to me more about the power ups, the all of that, all of that.
Sure. We actually built on the power up system from our previous game, Antics. So in Antics, in our original game, when you have to stop the bugs from getting to the stack of candy, we used a lot of particle effects to come up with like bug spray and dynamite and all this stuff. And when Jared developed Spellbearers, he wanted to use kind of not reuse the same particle effects, but he wanted to see the same kind of like explosions everywhere,
Yeah, yeah.
things going off at all these really colorful effects going off, right? So that was kind of the inspiration for having it. But we give the player a lot of power ups. If you play through it on whimindie.itch.io/spellbearers, right? If you play that free demo, you'll see it. You'll go through level 1 and be like, holy crap, I have this spell, and then I have this
Yes.
spell, and I have this spell. And you just see explosions and tornadoes and
Tornadoes.
yeah,
Yeah, man. The
lightning
worst.
beams.
Yes.
Uh yeah, and the flamethrowers. You just see all kinds of stuff just going off at once, and it really gives that hectic, like, everything's going off.
Yes.
Um, and also level 2, level 3, each one they'll have spells. Some of them will carry over from the first level, but there'll be unique spells that are unique to the other levels as well. So I'm
Okay.
not going to say what they are,
Yeah, it's all
um,
good.
but you'll get to see those.
Okay, nice, nice. So
Yeah,
definitely, man. Like I said, all the power ups. Definitely, like I said, just got the feel from just playing it. Excitement. It's
yeah.
fun. It's exciting. You're
Mhm.
gonna be challenged, everybody, because what's a game if you're just gonna just fly through it with no kind of with no kind of pushback. This game will will bring you that joy, and also like especially two players
Oh yeah.
with this is exciting. It's
Yes.
exciting. Definitely two players. So even one, you can wild out on one, but definitely two players. It's nice.
We took a lot of feedback from we demonstrated GameCon where we met, but we also demonstrated at the Level Up Expo in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? And
Hmm.
when we had demonstrated our game, we had demonstrated two player for the first time. Some really smart gamers thought of the idea. It's like, okay, player one will stand on one doorway and player two will stand on another doorway, and they were just shooting the doorway, right? And I'm like, okay, no, we got to have the enemies coming from three doorways minimum if it's two player, and then all four of them if it's later on in the level, right? We need to, but yeah, that's one thing I also like about getting public feedback, and one thing I really miss about COVID is that there's things that we think about like, okay, we're going to design this game this way as developers, and then when gamers come and play it, they come up with something completely different that we didn't anticipate, and we're
Yeah.
like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
We go back with our tails between our legs because like, okay,
See, but
they
that's
love the game, don't get me
yes.
wrong,
There you go. See,
but it's just like, oh wow, we did not think that they were gonna abuse this mechanic or they were gonna do this or that. So yeah.
it's better that while they're testing this than when it's all finished and everything. So that's good. Yeah, because like I said, two players is awesome with this. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. So you telling me it's gonna be on Xbox and on Steam, right?
Yeah, it's going to be on itch.io, Steam, and Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. That's all I
Nice.
could say so far.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
we are trying to get them on the other platforms. That's all I can really say. We are
Okay.
trying. It's
Nice.
not because of lack of effort on our side. That's all I'll say about that.
Nice, nice, nice.
Mhm.
So okay, so besides Spellbearers, what else is in the works, or what else are you guys all focused on this right now?
Yeah. So for Spellbears, most of the art team is done with their work, right?
Okay.
It's mainly getting to develop. We're implementing the last level and the final boss, but all the art is in. All the music has been done. We have sent the soundtrack off to the people who backed us on Kickstarter, so
Hmm.
they receive their physical soundtracks in the mail, and it's pretty good. Um, we will be selling. I think we are going to be selling the soundtrack online, but I don't want to confirm that yet.
Okay.
But we will be releasing it on streaming services. I know that for sure. So
Okay.
it is a head banging soundtrack. It is
No, it
really,
is.
really
It
good.
is because I
Yeah.
mean, like with a game like this, you got the music has to match the intensity that was going on. It does.
Yeah,
So
Christopher Nuno, who does our music, he's a musical genius. He worked on the sound design. He'd worked on background sound design for The Legend of Korra.
oh,
So
okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay. Nice.
he's real good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that. And we're hoping to release Spellbearers sometime next year. Our other games, we have Celatria, which is that's the game that was my vision and my direction. That's modeled after games like Final Fantasy, Chrono Trigger. And there's a lot of overlap between the Celatria and the Spellbearers team. So
Okay. Hmm.
so we're also working on that. When the Spellbearers is our kind of highest priority because that was the kickstarted game, but Celatria is also getting work done on it. And then yeah, we have some other projects, but they're not at a demonstratable state right now, so I can't really talk about it.
Okay.
But
Nice. Nice.
uh, as people ramp off of Spellbearers, we put them on other projects and go from there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So bigger. What's the bigger picture for you guys, the team? What's that what's one of your major goals as a unit here as a squad?
So actually, COVID made me really evaluate that. Right before COVID, we had a physical studio space in San Bernardino, California, and with COVID, everybody decided to work from home, and we're getting a lot of talent from all over the place that we didn't really consider, right? Because at first we were really local to San Bernardino, California, and Las Vegas, Nevada. That was our kind of our two hub spots for pulling in talent. but now we're really kind of considering just, keeping the whole, like, everybody just works from wherever they're comfortable. And I just, with that, we can continue releasing the games that we want. um, I'm trying to figure out where we're gonna go. Sometimes I have like these long-winded goals for where I want to take the studio. But then it's like, yeah, why do I need to think about that when we have 3 games ish, 2 or 3 games that I'm working on that need to be done now, right? So I want to, I want to put out Celatria and Spellbears, and then kind of maybe take some time off and figure out what I'm going to do while our next project is in the works. So.
Okay.
And
Nice.
our next project, while I can't talk about it, it does have a different director than Spellbearers does, and it's a different vision, it's a different genre, but
Okay.
it definitely has that Whimindie flavor to it. So
All
that's all
right.
I can
So,
say about it right now.
all right.
Yeah,
Hey, that's enough for me, man. You guys
yeah,
doing good things. You guys are doing amazing things.
mhm,
Much appreciation as a gamer because again, without you guys' vision and passion, we don't get to play these games as a gamer. So, like I said, I just that's the big appreciation that I like to give out because as just an old school, new school gamer, I appreciate all this, and then just
yeah,
going into depths of how a game is actually made, the vision, the work, and everything that gets put into. I'm always like, you know what? We got to give it up to the developers because it's a whole team now. It's like people think it's only like a group, a little small group. Like,
oh
no,
no,
sometimes legit, it is a lot of people putting in work. So,
I I think indie games are very, very important. The reason why, right? You grew up, you grew up with retro games, right? You
yes.
grew up with, and all those games they originally took, teams of hundreds of people to do in Super Nintendo era. But now we have that renaissance of, those games we loved as kids, but they're done by very small teams with modern technology, right? Because it's so easy. Sorry, I don't want to say it's easy to make a game, but it's easier to make a game compared to how it was in the 90s,
Yes,
right? So
definitely.
that means the ceiling is also higher, right? Now you have your Grand Theft Auto 5s, your Elder Scrolls 5 and 6s, and companies will milk that to death for years and years and years, right? And now there's this sense of, you're having the same game come out over and over and over again. And I think there's a lot of admiration from AAA companies for the indie community, right? You see Masahiro Sakurai of Smash Brothers, right? He loves Undertale, right?
Yeah.
He met with I can't remember the guy's name. What's the guy's name who did Undertale?
Uh,
Toby Fox.
there we go. I was
He
like,
met with
oh, hold
he
on.
brought Toby Fox over to Japan with him, right? And he put an indie character into Smash Brothers, right? With as a sis trophy, right? And Shantae by Way Forward. There's all they're keeping that retro aesthetic
Yes.
alive. And I think big companies are taking notice because even right with the recent Metroid Dread by Nintendo,
Yeah.
it's taking Metroid back to its 2D roots. And I know we're seeing Metroid Prime 4 and all that stuff. It's still in development, but
Uh huh.
we're seeing this renaissance of fun, either 2D or 2.5D, with that retro game aesthetics that we really grew up loving. And I feel like the indie scene is really driving that.
Oh
So
yeah, definitely.
so
I'm always looking into like indie games and just because I like to explore. I'm not just about your main titles. I like again Kickstarters or like you could see it because
mhm.
you see it growing as in front of
Yes.
you.
Mhm.
You see it developing, you see it take, just as if for when it started to where it's at. I liked all that. I definitely like all that. And I see this for this game. I'm like, oh yeah, can't wait for people to play this. More people need to play this. So yeah,
Both
definitely.
me and the game director Jaron, we both get a kick out of when we plan something out, right? And it's just rude, crude, ugly sketches, ugly flowcharts, ugly sketches, and we send it to Jessie, who she does all of our UI designs and our logos, right? And
Uh-huh.
she makes it look really nice with mock-ups and like this is how I want it to look in the game. And then we send it back to Jaron, who implements it into the game, and even we see from start to finish, right? From the development side, everybody,
Yeah.
it's such a morale boost between even with the team to see like, hey, it went from this ugly uncolored mock-up because I am not an artist. It went from this ugly uncolored mock-up to Jesse's beautiful mock-ups to this finished product, and it's
Right.
great. It's great to see from our perspective as well.
That's
So
again exactly, and that's and I think that's what keeps you guys like going as far as because when you see something that was again, you say you're not an artist, but you have an idea of what you
yeah,
kind of want, so you take it on to, and then you see it. I'm like, yep, that's it right there. That's
that's it.
exactly right.
I could tell. I could tell when it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
that's my skill. I'm a good game designer, and I can tell.
There we
Yeah.
go. There we go.
Mhm.
All right. So as we wrap this up, I usually ask two questions at the end. I usually ask, okay, so if I'm in your neighborhood, where we're gonna go to eat, somewhere you will recommend to eat,
Ooh.
and where can people find you, your team, and everything else that you do? So
All
I'll
right,
let you.
I gotta ask: sit down restaurant or fast food restaurant?
Hey, you're picking. I'm like, hey, I'm calling you. Hey,
Okay, I'll do one of both. Right.
all right.
So in the Inland Empire, because I don't know where people are watching this. In the Inland Empire, there's a really good Tex-Mex fast food place called Baker's Drive Thru. I love that place. I've been
You
going there since I was a kid.
okay? You
Yeah,
guys got them out here because I was in LA County. I
yeah.
moved out here to Riverside. Oh, this just bakers. All I see
Oh,
them
you go there?
everywhere.
Have
Yeah,
you been there?
I've been there, been there.
Oh
You know,
yeah, yeah,
definitely. You
yeah.
know, I
Really
can't
good.
go wrong with them. You know, some
Yeah,
tacos, so it's all
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
can't go
So
wrong with that.
that's good. If you want a good sit down restaurant, San Bernardino, Two Guys Pasta and Pizza. They are delicious. It's owned by it was two brothers, and I think one of them split off and did his own thing. But oh man, they just me and the team, when we finish the studio day, we go have a dinner out at Two Guys, and they just have the best all you can eat bread ever.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yes,
Definitely, man.
yeah,
Well,
good
well,
stuff,
I'm
man.
not far from you, so you know we
Yeah,
gotta definitely link
yeah,
up.
it's near it's near the San Manuel Casino. I think they renamed it to Yamava
Oh,
or
yeah, yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah,
Then
yeah. It's
renamed
right
it.
around the corner from there. So if you ever go down that way, you'll see it. Um,
Nice.
and then what was your second question?
Where can we find you? Where can we find
Hmm,
your team? Where can we find news about the game? Just
yeah.
drop all the links.
So yeah, our social media handle is at Whimindie, Whimindie. So our studio name is Whim Independent Studios, but that is way too long to remember. Whimindie, right? So we're on
Women there.
Instagram, Twitter, uh, Facebook. Uh, yeah, all of them.
Okay.
Did I miss one? Yeah, and yeah, if you look up Spellbearers on Steam and Celatria on Steam, you'll be able to wish list, so you'll get updates on when we're going to release. There's also a free demo available, so check that out. Play through the first level. Please give us your feedback. We'd love to hear it.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Like I
Yeah,
said, I'm gonna replay this. I mean, I probably, I'm gonna stream it and then give you, input on all that.
yeah,
But I excited about the, this game dropping. Cannot wait. Everybody, go download the demo right now. I will put,
absolutely.
I will definitely put the demo link in the description. I added their link, so go check them out, support them because again,
Mhm.
without their vision, everybody, without the passion, because you got to have a passion for what you do in life. That's regardless of anything that you do. There has to be a passion behind it because otherwise we don't get games to play. So appreciate them, appreciate everything they do because it is hard to be creative, coming things up on the fly, but yet they do it. They take their time, they put in their time most of all. So big appreciation from the gaming universe. So uh tip my hat off to you guys for everything that you guys do. So definitely
Thank
appreciation
you.
for that. So
Thank you.
definitely. And everybody go download that game. Check the links out. Go support them. I'm your boy DJ Gamer. Nothing but peace, love, and positivity, everybody. And game on, gamers. Peace.